Kia ora, g'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, you are here today because the mighty All Blacks is back, baby. 42 points to 10 over Argentina at Eden Park, keeping the 30-year unbeaten streak alive. And yeah, this was, last week, despite losing to Argentina, I thought that the All Blacks team was a better team last week than they were against England and against Fiji. So there was a definitely big improvement from those games despite their loss last week. And my issue with the All Blacks last week was their inability to strike when the iron was hot, to capitalize those upswings in momentum to their favor, to convert more of their opportunities into sustained pressure and points. So this week the All Blacks really came out just not taking 3 points at all and just really kept the foot on the gas and just pounded the Argentinians into the ground. And that was just absolutely brutal. And that was something that I thought they could have done and achieved last week, and they really didn't back themselves. So really massive improvement for the All Blacks, and they're actually starting to look more like the All Blacks we know this week than they did last week. And there was, again, you can see the clear difference between the quality of the players. Argentina has a really, really good team and really quality players, but the All Blacks just really starting to show that edge, that quality of talent with sustained pressure that was on display out there this game. And they pretty much put away the game before half time. The score was 42 points to 3, 41 minutes in the game. So 1 minute in the second half, the All Blacks was already had this one in the bag, and they started to kind of experimenting on some of the combinations, made some few changes. And yeah, the one concern that if you were a All Blacks fan is that their inability to score any points for pretty much the entirety of the second half after that try was scored in the first minute. And yeah, that's not really what you wanted to see. They did, obviously had opportunity to kick 3 points. They didn't take, but they backed themselves. They worked those lineouts. They worked those set piece, and they were not able to walk away with points. So there is definitely a bit of a clunkiness. Still room for improvement for some of the players, especially coming off the bench. And yeah, it's you always want to strive for perfection for your team. Really shouldn't have taken your foot off the gas just because you have 45 points on the board already. And there was a bit of an interesting setup as well, which I thought was a bit of a head scratcher. So Damian McKenzie was taken on the field quite early in the second half, maybe about 55 minutes on the clock. And I thought surely they would have taken Beauden Barrett off, right? So they moved Will Jordan to the fullback position, as we kind of expect with Razor having Will Jordan playing fullback for the Crusaders. Damian McKenzie, I thought for sure would have stayed on the field because those two youngsters will be like the future for the All Blacks. The two combinations, the 10 and 15 combinations for the future. And especially an opportunity like this, when you have a very high quality opposition, and you've already got the game won, pretty much won at that point. This will be a perfect opportunity to try to get the two together and work out some of the kinks and try to see if this could have been a combination going forward or not. And, make those changes accordingly. And instead, they put Beauden Barrett at 10. And this was, yeah, really a head scratcher. Not trying to, say too much negativity about Beauden. But the game was really just, everything just looked a lot more sloppier when Beauden was at 10. And I think it's not because, Beauden Barrett's a bad player, rada. I do think that Beauden Barrett firstly played in Japan this year, and he hasn't played in Super Rugby. And this is the first time, pretty much, he was at the key playmaker role without Damian McKenzie. And basically, I think that that he's much suited now at this point of his career to be at the 15 position and just make, slot in as a second playmaker when opportunity presents itself. Whereas when he's just under the gun as the sole playmaker for the whole team, yeah, he was really, some of the decisions, like some of the kicking, was just really a little bit of a head scratching, and it was almost like he wasn't really comfortable working with the players around him. Almost looked like some of the decisions that he made on the field. And yeah, and again, I thought surely D-Mac would have been there to try to work out work out his combination with Jordan. But yeah, let me know your thoughts there. I thought it was a little bit strange and a little bit of a bad decision there, to say the least, to not have given opportunities between D-Mac and Will Jordan. With that being said, the All Blacks dominated scrummaging. There was no scrums for like 60 minutes in the first game, so the dominated scrummaging from start to finish. It was just, once that platform is set, everything kind of just flowed a lot easier, because no matter what happens in the game, you can fall back to the scrum and just reset and just get that dominance back on your side almost immediately with a penalty. Tamati Williams got underneath, what's his name? Sordoni quite nicely in the first half, was able to get that wheel on the tight, on the loose hair side for the All Blacks, and just really like, I think Sordoni was just overall too high. Tamani Williams was pretty tall, guys, and Sordoni kind of like kept his own body height a little bit too high as a result to match Williams' height there. A bit of a mistake. The second half, and Fletcher Newell came on, and Thomas Gaggio was still on the field. What's his name? Fletcher Newell just pretty much had his number, really put a squeeze on, and the wheel came in for the All Blacks on the tight hair side in the second half. So really, really impressive for the All Blacks to be able to dominate that scrummaging. Line out, or like I said, for the last few rounds now, Darryl and Tupavai, especially Tupavai, would look really, really, really amazing for the All Blacks. Look a lot better than Scotty Barrett and Patrick Tupolotu. And yeah, Tupavai was, again, really, really good and really well done for these players to be getting that line out lockdown this week. Let's talk about the Argentinians now. I thought, they had a really, really good energy for the game, especially like the starting game. Both teams were just throwing haymakers at each other. Asafo was bumping people off, and despite matching up this All Blacks physically, I thought the Pumas look a little bit rushed under pressure. Like, again, like I said, when you're under pressure, you're starting to not make the right decisions. And the Pumas again and again and again, especially in that first half, kicking the ball away without the penalty advantage in a prime real estate inside the All Blacks half, and really just blown a lot of that opportunities that they that did not, that were not able to convert into points. I think maybe the rain is something that the Argentinians were not comfortable playing in, because it almost looked like they were a bit hesitant in carrying the ball, a bit hesitant to throw those longer passes, and was just going, okay, let's just not drop the ball and end up having a scrum, and let's try to do something with a little grubber kick behind. And they, really blown a lot of their opportunities with that option in the first half. The rush defense was extremely good for the Argentinians, and that was actually exploited quite well by D-Mac when he was on the field, not so much by Bowden Barrett. And despite that, I thought, the Argentinas breakdown was another issue that was there. The starting number 9, Bertrano, looked very hesitant in the line out. He was actually short arm penalized for not kicking the ball, like box kick fast enough. Like probably the first time I saw in the rugby championship this year, at least. And he was, so that aside, because of the fact that this breakdown was so slow, the ball was kind of messy, because there's a lot of, again, All Blacks would contest in the breakdown, got a lot of counter pushing, and not a couple of times the ball was just getting like accidentally kicked out, and he was just like fumbling around trying to scramble for the ball, and it all comes down to his inability to decide what to do at the breakdown. Once the reserve halfback came on, Bazan Velez looked a lot better in the second half. Like, much more crispier, much more decisive in the way that he wants to play. And and finally we'll have to talk about the yellow card. Asafo Aumua, head-on-head collision against what's his name, the winger, Mateo Carreras, So a bit of collision, head-on-head. It looked like it wasn't a heavy head-on-head collision. It does look like there was contact with the head. There was a bit of whiplash for both players. Might not be a big hit, but I thought a yellow card was definitely warranted, to Jeff Wilson's dismay. This was a very similar incident happened between Georgia and the Springboks. Andre Esterhazy made a massive shot on a Georgian player and made a very, very light head contact in a very similar situation, like a side-on collision. And and he was sent off with a red card in that match. So I think that the yellow card would have been a right decision, and it's definitely should have been a card, despite what Jeff Wilson was talking about. Let's look at the match stats now. Run meters 464 for the All Blacks, 323, 6 tries to 1. Despite having more run meters, the All Blacks didn't do as much carries as you might have expected. The Argentinians actually had more opportunities to attack in the second half, looking more crispier. 13 turnovers conceded for the All Blacks, 21 for the Argentinians. 164 tackles made for the All Blacks. Absolute world-class defense, only 14 missed tackles. Single-digit percentage completion rate, 136 tackles for Argentinians, 31 missed tackles. It wasn't too bad altogether. The Argentinians, it was still quite a good defense, but just like a little mistake here and there, especially in the first half, just really snowballed in very quickly into points for the All Blacks. 35 kicks for the All Blacks to 21 Argentina. 100% goal kicking from both hands. 926 kicking meters to Argentina's 607. This was an issue for the Argentina in the first half. Their exit kicks were just not like finding enough distance. Like they would be like camped inside their own 22, and their clearance kick would only barely go out of the 22. Whereas the D-Mac, when he was clear kicking, he was able to get from inside his 22 all the way into the Argentina half a lot of the times, and still finding touch. So really massive difference, day and night difference in terms of that exit kicking distance, especially with D-Mac was managing it. So really well done there. And yeah, and that really showed the Argentinians were not able to exit, was getting hammered in the first half, and thus conceding so many points. Just completely lost control of the territory game. And 15 lineouts, one for the All Blacks, 1 loss. 12 lineouts for Argentina, 2 lost. So not too much of an issue, just a little bit of handling errors and overthrows and stuff. Not nearly as bad as the first game, especially in the second half, where it was just like where the All Blacks were just like completely not able to win any of their own lineouts. Nice scrum, 1 for the All Blacks, 6 for the Argentinas. Didn't lose any of their own feed, the Argentinians, but they did concede quite a bit of penalties, especially in that first 60 minutes. When the reserve props came on, the Argentinian scrum actually looked a little bit better, steadier, and a lot more in control later in the second half. Penalties conceded, 10 against the All Blacks, 11 against Argentina, 1 yellow cards against Asafo Aumua, and that was pretty much it. Yeah, so quickly, let's talk about some of the key moments of the game. And yeah, so early in the game, the All Blacks was pounding the Argentinians. They had penalties advantage. They just went for the line out. They did not go for the 3 points, which I really I was really happy. There was like an opportunity botch earlier where they overthrown in their own line out 5 meters out, but that was quickly tidied up for the remainder of the game. So yeah, 25 minutes of the game, they were pounding inside the 22 meter line. The rush defense was really good, but Jordie Barrett spotted the rush defense, was overextending, little kick over the top, and Damien McKenzie ran in, grounds the ball for the try. 7 points to 0 for the All Blacks. 10 minutes into the game, Tyrell Lomas got pinned for a no-arm tackle. Argentina not backing themselves, but I mean, they've been under the pump for about 10 minutes at this point. So yeah, again, it's rugby. You kind of have to really go toe-to-toe in this sort of situations. Argentina went for the 3. 7 points to 3. The All Blacks had more opportunities. The next try was scored at 16 minutes into the game. They had so the All Blacks had a penalty. They went for the line out. They went for the Argentinians actually defended the more really well, just short of the try line. And then there was a bunch of pick and goes. And eventually, Adi Savea, big leg drive over the try line, 14 points to 3. 18 minutes into the game, there was a penalty against the All Blacks. Finally, Argentinians realizing they can't just win this game by kicking for 3 points. They backed themselves for the lineouts. And yeah, the All Blacks did really well to defend the lineout. Wasn't able to get that into any points. 23 minutes into the game, there was, again, Argentina's kicking game, essentially clearance outside their own half, was struggling. Jordie Barrett blocked one of the kicks, charged down one of the kicks, clearance kicks, and then the Argentinian player tried to kick it again, and it was blocked again by Jordie Barrett, and then the ball kind of like went back into the Argentinian half, and then the All Blacks rushed in for the defense. Argentina spread the ball out wide, was trying to run down the sideline. There was a breakdown around the 22-meter mark, and then this is what I was talking about. Barzan Velez was like hesitating. The ball had already come out of the ruck. He was hesitating, and then Tupavai just ran in to the Argentina backline, and then I think Barzan Velez thought he was offside, just threw the ball to Tupavai, and the referee's like, it's fine. The ball was out, and then Tupavai just got the ball, and then All Blacks just piled on some pressure, and eventually the ball spread out wide, good hands, and Caleb Clark, really good to see him back, just powerhouse, massive body, ran through the sideline, ran down the sideline. Third try on the ball for the All Blacks, 21 points to 3. 29 minutes into the game, Will Jordan gets his try on the ball. There was a line out for the All Blacks, quite far out, a nice little maul, and then DJ Perinara got the ball, recognizing the space on the blind side, ran down the short side, and then like really good individual in performance. He drew a couple defenders. As he was getting over the game line, popped off the offload, and Will Jordan down the sideline. Try time as easy as that. 28 points to 3. 35 minutes into the game, All Blacks again just pressuring with a penalty advantage, not really kicking for the points, not kicking for points at all. And once again, they were inside the 22, following a lot of pressure. There was a nice little backdoor ball from Jordie Barrett to, I think it was to D-Mac. And then eventually there was a nice short flat pass to Beauden Barrett, who ran through for the 5th try already, 35 minutes into the game. 35 points to 3, 1 point a minute for the All Blacks at this point. And then, yeah, halftime score, 35 points to 3. Second half, 1 minute in the second half again. There was like a Argentinians, immediately from the kickoff, Argentina had one of the play. Ball carrier held up by the All Blacks, turned into the more scrum dominance for the All Blacks. And then just once again, this was this was the one where Jordie Barrett did a little backdoor play. And then a nice little, what is it? Yeah, just like nice little backdoor play, and then good hands down the sideline. And then Will Jordan gets his second try on the ball, running in for the All Blacks. 42 points to 3. And then after this, believe it or not, All Blacks, like I already talked about, didn't score any points after this one. There was a 52 minutes into the game. It looked like Argentina had scored their first try. So they had a penalty that went for the line out. They just like, you know, went for the maul. They didn't quite get there and just piled in, pick and go. And it looked like one of the players went over, but he actually knocked on the ball in the contact before grounding the ball over the line. So that was a lost opportunity there. Around 55 minutes, like I said, D-Mac was taken off. Beauden Barrett was moved to 12. So it was interesting. Beauden Barrett was 10. So it was Beauden Barrett at 10, Jordie Barrett at 12, Rieko Ioane at blindside winger, Anton Lienert-Brown at outside center, Mark Telea on the 11, and then Will Jordan at fullback. Did I say Rieko at outside blindside winger? I mean, like on the left hand side on the 14. And then after this, 71 minutes in Argentina, finally get their first try on the ball. You can't really falter, you know, you can't really blame Argentina for not putting out the effort. So yeah, they were just inside the All Blacks half. They built pressure for the entire second half despite not able to score. Finally being patient, not just kicking the ball away. Lot better breakdown speed with new Bazenvelas on the field, and eventually Bazenvela got the ball. A short flat pop to Malia, cut through the All Blacks defense for the try. 42 points to 10. 75 minutes in, just about 5 minutes left, Aumua got sent off a yellow card, and then that was pretty much it. There was a couple of another scrum penalty for the All Blacks later on, but yeah, Argentina had one last shot in extra time, but not able to do so, and that was pretty much it. 42 points to 10 for the All Blacks, and they will be heading off to play against the Springboks in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, be interesting to see how that's going to go, but definitely another huge step forward for Razor Robinson and his players. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Cheers.